All right, the House Ways and Means Committee is subpoenaing 3 far-left nonprofits in its probe of Marxist millionaire Neville Roy Singham after the organizations failed to provide lawmakers with requested information. And the left is losing it. Radical influencer Hassan Piker, who frequently watches this show, is rallying around one of the targeted organizations, writing on X, quote, "This is the McCarthy trials." Well, a Fox digital investigation found Singum pumped $39 million into the People's Forum, Tricontinental, and Breakthrough News. We reached out to these organizations for comment. We have yet to hear back. But joining us now, we heard back from him, Gatestone Institute senior fellow and Plan Red author, the one and only Gordon Chang, joins us to break this all down. So much to discuss with you. But we've all heard of George Soros. That's been, the discussion for a long time. But now you've got this new character who is seemingly coming in and using his money to influence a lot of things here in the United States. What can you tell us about our friend, Mr. Singham here?
Yeah, Neville Roy Singham from 2017 through last year pumped $591 million through a network of 67 core organizations, but those core organizations then spread it out to 2,000 more. And this was $591 million. That's incredible what you can buy in terms of influence around the world. We know that $278 million of that came to specifically anti-U.S. organizations, and I'm sure a part of the rest of that also ended up in this country.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think a lot of this seems new to a lot of people, but I know Peter Schweitzer, I do some work with, has been writing about him and sort of the alleged nefarious activities for years and how he's embedded himself in the network. Talk to us about these specific organizations, these not-for-profits, but also his ties into China and why this is so nefarious in its ties potentially to China.
Yeah. Singham himself is a U.S. citizen, so he's got First Amendment rights. But the thing is that he coordinates his activities with the Communist Party's United Front Work Department, which is a part of the party that subverts foreign governments. And by the way, he lives in Shanghai. And so that's why the Department of Justice opened up this probe in June, because it appears that he was trying to illicitly send money into various countries. 5 different continents, by the way, Jason, on this. So, you don't try to hide it from bank regulators if your activities are above board. And by the way, he also hasn't registered under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA. And he clearly is a foreign agent because he's been working with the CCP.
So we have Osran Omani on from Fox Digital often talking about some of these protests that pop up for various issues around the U.S. And she tells us that, it might not be as grassroots as some of these would appear or would like to appear. What can you tell us about not even just this gentleman, but other organizations like it or other funders like him that are perhaps funding some of these very well-coordinated protests that seem to have very professional-looking signs very quickly for a myriad of events that we see on the streets of New York City and elsewhere?
Just one example. Singham is married to Jody Evans. She's a co-founder of Code Pink. Code Pink has been involved in these anti-data center protests. And so his money has been going into that. Now, people in the U.S., they've got legitimate complaints about data centers. But these protests are not entirely organic because they are being funded by the Communist Party, which, by the way, has been trying to stop U.S. data centers. So we know that they're involved in that and all sorts of other activities. China was very involved in the 2020 election in trying to disrupt both campaigns, but especially the Trump one. You had the New York Times report on some of China's efforts. This is really deep into the United States.
Wow. I want to get your thoughts on this, Gordon. You are featured in the new Fox Nation series Spy Nation, which exposes hidden threats from foreign and domestic enemies who attempt to smuggle biological weapons into the U.S. Here's the sneak peek.
The United States has an open society.
The Chinese are hoping unsuspecting Americans will do their dirty work for them.
Americans were sent seeds from China unsolicited.
Seed packets have been sent to several people in the valley and around the country. Sometimes it appears the package contains jewelry.
Oh my gosh, if I didn't need another thing to worry about, this now is added to the list. How serious is this?
This is an attack on American agriculture, and we've seen many aspects of this. So, for instance, in 2020, Americans in all 50 states received seeds from China unsolicited. There was another outbreak of that last year, especially in places like Texas. We had all those researchers at the University of Michigan who were sneaking in biological agents. And just on Friday, Department of Homeland Security released a document that showed that in November 2018, a Chinese courier was bringing in coronavirus into the U.S., trying to smuggle it, got caught. And by the way, the federal government did not release those documents for, 8 years? So there's something going on here. It's serious. We know the Chinese are attacking our food supply, which means that this is a weapon of mass destruction.
You know, Gordon, I've been covering the U.S.-China relationship for quite some time, especially on the technology theft and transfers. It seems like successive U.S. administrations continue to bring this up to Beijing, and nothing changes.
Yes. So, for instance, 2 Fridays ago, Kimi, that Chinese AI, they released a model. It was rocked the world, and we found out a couple days later that they actually were distilling from Anthropic's Fable. That's basically intellectual property theft. Yeah, okay, that was last week. But this happened on January 20, 2025, when DeepSeek released its model. It took trillions, literally trillions of dollars off the U.S. stock market. We found out that they were distilling ChatGPT-4. That's a violation of OpenAI's terms of service. That's intellectual property theft also. And by the way, between January 20, 2025 and last week, nothing really was done.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I wish we had more time with you, Gordon. We have so many more questions, but luckily we do have a Fox Nation special we can turn to for a little bit more. New episodes of Fox Nation Spy Nation are streaming right now exclusively on Fox Nation.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.